How's it going? So, my name's Tram MVP. Probably never heard of me, and that's because I haven't been playing any video games competitively for a long time. And by competitively, I mean not like for money or anything. We're not there yet. Would be cool to hit that dream, but as I said, we're not there yet. So, what I have been doing is, getting better at my strategies, getting better at, getting involved in games like League of Legends, StarCraft, Call of Duty, that kind of thing. Just stuff I like. And, I figured I might as well start recording the content because I love to do it and maybe somebody will love to watch me do it. I've had a couple people say that I should, pursue making content just because of, my personality, that kind of thing. And hopefully you guys find me funny as well. And then I've also actually been told that I'm funny to game with as well. So, and some of my reactions get pretty crazy. Sometimes, we rage a little bit. We laugh and cry. Good times going to be had by all. So that brings me to this video. Currently, you're recording on a Logitech 4K Brio is what I'm using. So far, in terms of this product, I'll actually do a little bit better of a review video of it when I have the new computer running, because the laptop that this is playing through, that we're upgrading through, has a 635M NVIDIA card from too far long ago, and it doesn't quite process 4K. So far, I've attached this to one of my old monitors. I use like a 65-inch TV for gaming now. I'm probably going to have to get a stand for this at some point, which are not as hard to find as webcams. But right now I have you on just a monitor. In terms of secure, like how secure it is, it looks pretty good. In terms of the actual packaging, one thing I found was, and I'll post the packaging video as well if you guys want to watch that, the quick unboxing video of it. There's like no extra packaging. So I like that from an environmental perspective. Didn't like that because I was using a knife to open it and I nicked it a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean like I dented it slightly with the edge of the knife, but like not a big deal. It's just part of the process, right? So it would have been cool to know that, I guess, ahead of time. So hopefully this video helps you guys. And hopefully when we get the new computer running, you guys will appreciate the quality of it, I guess. So I'd love to hear your guys' feedback as we get into this as well. So today we're going to build a gaming PC, and we're going to try and do this in as little as time as possible, but I've never built one before. So I figured this would be a great video to post, specifically because nobody like myself seems to record content doing things for the first time, or it seems like it's polished. And maybe I shouldn't say that, but I haven't looked off of my very hard. But in the brief look I did, it was guys that do this frequently for a living, or pretty close to it, anyways. So, total budget for this entire situation of stuff is, I kind of went all out. I mean, it depends what you guys classify as expensive. Of course, everything's relative, right? I personally have a fairly good job, and I was fortunate enough in 2020 to get a good job. But this budget for this PC is about 5,200 Canadian. So, for Americans, it's probably closer to like maybe 3,000-ish. That being said, I kind of went all out, but not to the extent that, you're spending $10,000, $20,000 on a PC with limitless components. We are going to be running 2 graphics cards with this computer. We're going to be running an Intel i7 10 series chip. I think it's a 10700K. And the K just means it's unlocked and overclockable. And we have all the necessary cooling. But funny enough, this unpacked box, the only unpacked one you see behind me, is step 2 of the process. So step 2 of the process, as I throw stuff around in my room, that's a mess anyways, is, of course, after you unbox your motherboard and unbox your processor, the next step after that, after securing the processor, is this bad boy, the cooler. I forgot to order a cooler for said PC chip, and that's on me. I thought I had, I'm pretty sure this is the exact one I had in my cart at the time when I bought everything off of Newegg, but I guess I didn't. So anyways, we might as well quickly start with here. We're going to start from the top and do kind of an unboxing video. Probably make a bunch of unboxing videos that I'll post separately. And we'll do essentially make a little series out of this whole building process. I'll post all the components in this video and probably in the coming videos. So when we actually do the build video, I'll set up the entire list of parts so you guys can see what we're doing. But to quickly rifle it off, in the building video, what you will see is we are running a Asus Maximus Hero 12, I believe is what it is, which is just capable. It's the Z490, and it's capable of running the new LGA 1200 socket for the Intel chips. We're going to be running for a PC cooler, or whatever you want to call it. We are going to be running this H100 RGB Platinum from Corsair with all the RGB, because why not fancy lights? You don't have to pay for fancy lights, but you want to know what looks cooler? Fancy lights. Just about swore there. I'm going to have to watch that. I'm from a kind of a lifestyle where I get to swear a lot more, but now that I'm going to be making internet content, I guess I can't probably do that. So, H100i RGB Platinum Corsair chip cooler, and this is a liquid cooler. You don't have to go liquid. Probably for this setup, you can get away with just some higher end air components. But that being said, I am going to be probably overclocking this chip, so I want to make sure that we have the best capability for dissipating that heat. Now, this is, interestingly enough, really high up on the spec list for this component. This came in, I want to say it was like top 5 or something for liquid coolers. And it actually outperforms the higher end version of this type of cooler by a few degrees in the benchmarks that were around in the forums that I was looking at. So I figured, since this has the better RGB, like it has RGB in the fans, the superior ones, like the 360 millimeters or whatever, they don't have the RGB there. They just have the RGB here. And I was kind of like, well, that's lame. And we're gonna hopefully this fits. It should. Like, I have a big mid tower. This thing says it's capable of running, I don't know, like 4 or 5 different radiators. So I think it'll be big enough. In terms of the case, we're running a Thermaltake View 51 ARGB swing door tempered glass kind of case. It's capable of a bunch of different stuff, has tons of room for airflow, and I bought it specifically just because it was rated super high. I think it'll be good, and it should fit everything we need and be able to upgrade as we go. And that's the biggest thing about this build, is it's going to be buildable over the next 10 years. I wanted to get something where it was customizable, big enough, planned for the future enough that I wouldn't have to go back and change out an entire motherboard. And processing power, really, yeah, it changes a little bit, but really, like this laptop we're moving up from I think it has like maybe it has an i7 as well, but it's not like it's running a crazy processor. I think it's only like 2.3 gigahertz or something. This will be twice the power. The new one is going to be, I think it's 5.2 is what it's overclockable to. And, with that in mind, where you want to spend money is obviously going to be like motherboard, processor, and then go from there, because those are probably the items you don't need to upgrade as frequently. More frequently on the spectrum is going to be things like your graphics cards. They update so often, and there's new series every so often. There's new sizes often. There's new drivers all the time. The games keep getting more and more aggressive. Now we're moving into 4K, 8K worlds with VR and stuff like that. The new stuff coming out for PlayStation, coming out for Xbox and all that kind of stuff is all made with, the newer engines that are running some Unreal effects. So you're going to need heavy stuff for that. So this was kind of planned to rely a lot more on the graphics instead of maybe necessarily going all out on a i9 processor and overclocking that. And that's where you really get into the extra money for really the benchmarks don't justify it. I mean, if you're going for the dream PC, maybe you want to go all out, and that's cool. A lot of guys like myself, I mean, it's not like we need every second counts for a lot of things at the levels we're playing at right now. So yeah, that's the Corsair H100i RGB Platinum. Look it up, great specs. We've got that case. And in terms of a motherboard, we're running the Republic of Gaming. See if I can get that to focus. Running the Republic of Gaming Maximus 12 Hero with the Wi-Fi. This is a little bit more of an expensive little card, but it does have Asus Sync and all that kind of stuff. It has the triple M.2 slots. It does have the BIOS flashback button. It does have the two USB 2.0 ports. In the back, it has the one HDMI. It does have the 5 gigabit Ethernet connectivity. So that was another thing is internet speed. I wanted to make sure that I can handle whatever comes out, even though my area only gets like a gig right now because I live in Canada, so rip to us. But I'm pretty sure this is fiber optic coming to my house right now. So I do have a gigabit per second connection. But of course, the laptop and the Xbox can't even pick that up. So in terms of chipset, like we're running the Intel Z490 chipset capabilities on there for the CPU, the Intel socket for the 1200 10th gen processors. And then we're running, for memory, we've got 4 slots, 128 gigabyte capacities. For the expansion slots, we've got Intel 10th gen processors, like I say. We've got the 2 times PCIe 3.0 slots, and we've got the 1 PCIe 16 slot for the times 4 mode. The others are times 16 or 8x8 modes. Then it also has 3 PCI slots that are just the one times 1 slot. So then, yeah, as I say, we've got the M2 slots for both PCIe 3.0 and SATA. And then there's one of them that's just the PCIe. In terms of USB, we've got 1 USB 3.2 Gen 2 front panel connector, 4 USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports, and then we've got 6 USB Gen 1 ports, and we've got 6 USB 2.0 ports. So tons of ports on this. We've also got wireless connectivity for the Wi-Fi 6, and it reads both bands. That came with it. Like you'll see the little Wi-Fi hidden in here. So yeah, should do everything we need it to do, and it should. I tried to match all the components so that it all made sense with each other. But of course, I'm a novice, so I could have made a mistake. One mistake I made, but I also kind of bought it as a backup because I wasn't sure. I bought thermal paste, the thermal paste remover, and then like a prep, like the surface prep. I'll probably use the surface prep a little bit, I think. We probably don't have to. Maybe that's a bad idea, but why not, I guess. Now, for memory, we're just starting out with 32 gigabytes. We don't really need more than that right now. And in terms of that, we're running the Corsair Vengeance Pro. Also has RGB, which will look nice with our chip cooler. So for the processor, we're going to be unboxing a Intel 10th Gen Core i7, like I said. This is the 10700K. And as you say, the K just means it's unlockable, overclocked. For a power supply, hefty, as I'm sure you just heard in my voice, we're running an EVGA 1300 watt G2 power supply. It does have the little 80 plus gold certified, so it's going to be really efficient at maintaining that power. And we need good power because we're running big components, right? And we're going to be running a ton of fans. We might have to end up getting more fans. We're going to have to run temperature checks and all that kind of thing. For a hard drive, we're running a WD Black SN750 1 terabyte solid state. This had really good write speeds. Like it says up to 3,470 reads for megabits per second. So I figured, that's probably pretty good for what we need. I don't think we need, like, you could obviously go higher end. You could go with a physical hard drive, and some people like physical hard drives because typically you get more space. But solid state's nice because it boots faster, right? But we'll talk about all the details in the other videos. In terms of the graphics cards, we're going to need an SLI bridge. So we just bought the EVGA SLI bridge. This would be good for our cards. In terms of the cards, what we're running is we're running 2 GeForce RTX dual cards. So capable of obviously like running an SLI bridge with these bad boys. And then, as I say, they've got a bunch of different display ports as well. They've got a software suite with them. This is a special edition from Asus as well. And they will have, as I say, they're powered by the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080 Super. They've got 8 gigabits of the DDR6, and they've got a ton of different like connectors, like there's 4 connectors. So all your supports and all that kind of stuff as well, ray tracing cores, etc. Really excited about this card. They do have a protective backplate. They do have a heatsink that's tuned for rapid cooling, so it should make the most of the fans. And then, as I say, it's longer fan blades and a unique barrier ring actually increase the pressure. So that was another thing as well. When you look at the actual design of this card, I kind of just like the concept of it. So we'll see how they perform. I mean, maybe they're the best in the market, you know, in terms of our budget. I mean, obviously you can move up to a 2090 right there is going to be better, but, you know, I think this will be a great card, and this should give us the distance. These retail at about $1,000 a card, and we got 2 of them. So right there, we could have cut our budget down if we would have just gone with, you know, what we need to play current stuff. Like, obviously, you don't need anything crazy to play League of Legends. You can play that with a 635M. We could have just got a 1000 series, like, you know, a 1650 or something like that. Could have got a Titan. Or we could have even bought some used cards from somebody that's just a fanatic and they want the best of the best for, you know, process, like video editing and that kind of thing. But, you know, I figured why not? Let's go all out. Let's do a dual card. We've never done that before. And let's just see what happens. So as I say, total MSRP for this build, I'm going to have to double check, but I believe it's about $5,200. Bought everything off of Newegg except for the Corsair CPU cooler that we bought off of Amazon. And then, as I say, got the 4K webcam from Logitech. Very impressed with the packaging on that. As much as it sucks I nicked it, you can't really tell. It's just the corner. It's kind of dented a little bit. But yeah, so as I say, that's the introduction to the next video, I guess. So what you'll see is probably, as I say, all of the unboxing videos, and then we'll do an actual build as well. So this might take a little bit. I don't think I'm going to get this all done today, now that I look at everything we got to do. Let's get started. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully you guys enjoy. And as I say, if you guys have suggestions for content, I mean, I'm going to try to make some music as well. Yeah, we'll see what happens. So let's make this fun, at the very least, and have some laughs and, you know, cry together, rage a little bit, and feel each other's pain. Because I think that's what 2020 is about, is just feeling each other's pain. And I'm sure you guys can agree. So with that in mind, let's get started. Thanks so much, guys.